Okay, Arcane builds. They're definitely my favorite build, and they got a good amount of stuff in the DLC that adds to them. So one I really like is the Black Steel Great Hammer. I see this guy using a Great Shield, and anytime you see a Great Shield, a Great Hammer with Royal Knight's Resolve and Hammer Talisman will break through any of them. Doesn't end up mattering too much there. I pull him out of the air and do a backstab, which looked really cool and kind of janky. So then the other really laggy Phantom is using Milady, which is a pain to fight if you don't have over like 110 poise, which I don't, unless you're using a Colossal Sword. So another weapon from the DLC that works really well on an Arcane build is the Ancient Meteoric Ore Greatsword. It scales almost as well with Arcane as it does Strength. And you're going to see that weapon a lot in this. So I saw him pull out a Great Shield again, which is why the hammer came back out. And again, backstabbed him. Not exactly what I wanted, but I'll take it. And then this host is a runner. I figured I'd do him a solid and give him a curved greatsword matchup. But he chooses to take me on a tour of the underground. So here I accidentally end up killing my co-invader because he had 500 health. That is not acceptable. Shoot off the host. Was hoping that would kill him, but no such luck, and he continues running. I'll switch to the sleep shotgun and the ripple halberd. I ended up using sleep grease because this hose had irked me, but I didn't have it equipped because I really don't like to use it all that often. But, you know, sometimes it's deserved. So I also have St. Trina's Smile equipped to get a boost once he finally does fall asleep, which he does, and I end up taking him out with O-Flame. So this one's mostly to show you still have access to, or you have access to the best wake up in the game in Grail's Roar. Again, guy has a great shield. So pull out the Black Steel Great Hammer. That's a one shot. I'm using a Lightning Misericord. You're on Arcane, so you're not going to get as good a scaling as you would on Dex, but you still do very real damage. You can see there. So I'm kind of getting blendered there. Send the elevator up and get lucky because the Phantom just falls. So at this point, I just want to fish the host. As you can see, it takes me kind of a second, but I get there. And the Grails Roar wake up, which if you can get them both off, is pretty much a one-shot. You also have optimized Dragon Breath. Which tried to get it off here, but end up getting knocked out of it. Which is fine. Switch to the Ancient Meteoric or Great Sword. I'm not going to say that every time. So I don't have the Dagger Talisman here, which is why that doesn't kill him. But again, still very real damage. That Great Sword's probably my favorite weapon to come out of the DLC. And another Dragon Breath, which takes out one Phantom and almost takes out the other. Not that it really ends up mattering. Well, at least on the build I'm running, you have to two-hand it, but that's not a huge detriment. But swing and roll catch. You can get about 700 to 800 damage on a good swing if you have the two-handed talisman and the crouching attack buff one. So start off this one with Power Stance Katanas, which is my go-to setup for most situations. At least when it's 1v1. So I don't play it the best here, but you can see how quickly they bleed out from it on Occult Infusion with an Arcane build. A lot of times people don't pay attention to their bleed build up, and it can give you that last little extra bit of damage that'll take them out. So backhand blades, I love to parry them, which is what I do there. So, and then the poor host is just kind of lost. So, put him out of his misery. So this next one, I don't play the best, but I wanted to show you guys about how much damage you can get out of Bell's Tyranny. Get caught with a bear there, which is pretty much a cheaper version of Grail's Roar. So you can see there, double communion seal, you get about 1600 damage out of it with no talismans to really buff it up. So it can definitely one shot. Almost die there. So here I switch to the Fox or Faithful Canvas Talisman, whichever one's stronger. And hit him with another Bale's Tyranny, which does enough damage to take out the host. People love to trade into it, and you get a good amount of hyper armor once you're a little bit into the cast. So this one, the host, is the kind of host that I really hate. Not just a runner like in the first one, but the guy camps on top of an elevator for 20 minutes, which is why you're going to see a time lapse. So for this particular part of Fair Missoula, that that ladder is always a trap. You always want to go up the elevator by going to the right of the ladder. So trying to pull them down with Star Scourge swords, which regardless of what build you play, you should have access to them. It takes 22 strength to be able to use them pretty quickly. You can just use the grafted buff and then two-handed, and you can use the Star Scourge sword. But here the guy has a shield, so I switched again to the black steel great hammer, hammer talisman, and dagger. Wasn't sure exactly where he was at. Wanted the fish there, but end up missing. Switched to Moog Spear just to kind of pester them and sap away at their resources. Again, I don't think I'm going to get a kill here, just trying to do little bits of damage. Host ends up coming in, so I switch back to the Great Hammer. And up the ladder because I'm essentially cornered. So here I'm trying to decide how exactly I want to play it. Initially I thought about just pulling them off with the Star Scourge swords, but then I realized that I can use either Bale's Tyranny or Grails to do the same thing, and end up deciding on Grails simply because I know the timing better. And you can buff it up with Exalted Flesh and Uplifting Aromatics since it's purely physical damage. So they come up, I use Grails, it knocks one of them off, and the other one either blocked it or jumped down. I'm not too sure which. So here I wanted to pull them off with Star Scourge swords, but I'm an idiot and didn't realize I'm out of FP, so I pop a Starlight Shard. Lolling branches are pretty much better in every way. You just have to use one bolus when you're about halfway full, or a jump when it's about to proc and roll out of it. But the Star Scourge swords pulls the first phantom down. I wanted the follow-up to take care of him, but no such luck. And I suck at fighting curved greatswords, so this is a lot closer than it should have been. He's just swinging away. And end up getting the kill. So heal up a bit, realizes that the host is just sitting on the elevator button, so you get a little time skip there. I get a message that he's looking to resummon. So I was feeling petty, and when I realized he was elevator camping, I just turned Hulu on my phone since I found a new sitcom that I'm enjoying. And decided to wait him out. Blue decides to just give me free flasks, which I will not say no to. Once again, the ladder is always a trap. Use the elevator. Hop off, and there's the host. With terrible internet. Doesn't really end up mattering. Kill him. And he made me wait for 20 minutes, so drop those. But yeah, those are some of the tools Arcane builds get to use. I really like them. The stats that I ended up landing on are on the screen. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.